We've been so busy on the show, we've had special guests that we haven't had our Meet the Mountain Hawk segment in a while. We'll welcome in Breland Moore to learn more about Kahron Ross.
After losing starting point guard Mackie McKnight last year, the Lehigh men's basketball team decided to recruit yet another four-year starter to fill the void. Kahron Ross is a 5'11" freshman from Jonesboro, Arkansas. Despite this being his very first year on a college lineup, he says that playing Division I basketball has been in his sights since he was just a kid on the playground.
My family is, I would say, a basketball family. My mom and my dad played college basketball. My grandpa played basketball, so I would say I'm in a basketball family. Me and my dad always talked about playing, at the highest level, even past college. But I think I started probably when I was 4 years old, maybe. So I've been doing it for a long time, and it's just something I've always loved and always had a passion for.
Since arriving at Lehigh, Kahron Ross has done big things for his team. Starting in almost every game so far this season, Ross averages 10 points and 32 minutes a game. Coach Brett Reed says that although Kahron is young, he still plays a vital role in the team composition.
Well, Kahron was put in a very challenging situation. To have a freshman point guard is not the easiest thing to adjust to. Number one, you have to adjust to the academics of college. You have to adjust to the speed and the pace of the college game, yet alone having the ball in your hand and being a principal decision maker. Kahron has handled that extremely well. He's been very poised in a lot of pressure situations. He's a very strong competitor. Man, you could see his talent come to the forefront. He's been put in a number of different situations where he's making other players better. He's capitalizing and finishing on his own plays when it's time for him to score. And he's bringing in a defensive presence for us that's fairly strong for a freshman as well. He is very good now. And I could see this young man, with the type of hunger and desire that he has, continuing to grow and develop through the course of his career.
A freshman year can be very challenging and often filled with a lot of growing pains. Although Kahron Ross has stepped into a major role here on the Mountain Hawks lineup, he says his challenges this year came not on the basketball court, but in the dormitories.
As far as on the court, me and Coach had already talked about it, that I was going to have a big role as a freshman. I was already prepared for it. My mind was, already prepared. But as far as off the court, my biggest adjustment as a freshman would probably have to be dealing with a roommate, because I'm the only child, so I've never had to, share things and do stuff like that. So now I have to do little things like turn the lights off at certain times and keep quiet. So that's a big adjustment.
Like the rest of his teammates, there's much more to Ross than what fans see on the court. When he's not playing basketball, his favorite hobby is playing video games with his teammates or watching episodes of an iconic comedy.
Besides playing the game, I like to watch Netflix, and I would say the main show that I watch on Netflix is Friends. And that probably is a surprise to most people, but I've even got my roommate watching it, and he likes it too, so we watch Friends a lot at nighttime.
He also hoards a secret playlist on his iPod filled with guilty pleasures that he wouldn't want his teammates to hear. On the top of the list?
I like a few Katy Perry songs. I can admit to that. She has a few nice songs that I listen to.
Although he says he doesn't have a hidden talent up his sleeve, Ross says he entertains his teammates in a different area: dinner time.
I do have a weird eating habit. I'm very, very picky. I don't eat any kind of sauces, or I don't eat cheese or anything on my burgers. I just eat meat and bread and stuff like that. I'm a very picky eater. They always pick on me about how picky I am, and that's why I'm so skinny and stuff like that, because I never eat. And we always joke about it, because my coach, Coach Cruz, is the same way, but he's probably a little worse. The only thing he eats is pizza, but I eat a little more than I just don't eat like sauces and stuff like that and cheese.
As his first college basketball season comes to a close, Ross continues to do amazing things on the court while settling into campus life and culture with relative ease. And with 3 more years to learn and grow, the future certainly looks nothing but bright for Lehigh's Kahron Ross. For 2 Sports, I'm Breland Moore.
Yeah, one more left-hand layup for the finicky eater, huh? How do you have a training meal with all these guys that come in with all these different appetites?
I'll tell you what, probably the most disappointed person in that segment is Ryan Kruger. All his dirty laundry's out there about eating pizza and all that type of stuff. But yeah, Kahron probably would be about 200 pounds if he actually had a different type of appetite. But no, all jokes aside, the kid is hungry on the floor, and he goes out after it, he competes. I think he's going to continue to be a great player for us. And you can see he's a guy who's comfortable with himself. He's got a little sense of himself. And isn't that so true about the college experience? That you learn so much about just a simple thing like having a roommate, learning how to share. And the guy was talking about sharing, yet he shares the basketball all over the court like nobody's business.
But he's better than anybody in the Patriot League right now. He leads Patriot League in assists, and I know you're counting on him to take that next step with the tournament just right around the corner as well. Obviously, he's done what you've asked him to do to this point of the year. What can you share with him about what will be different about playing once the Patriot League tournament starts?
Well, I think he's already getting a sense of it because we're almost getting like Patriot League tournament action right now because the standings are so tight that every possession becomes very important. And one thing that you'll see with a younger player at times is their focus will come in and it will come out. And you see that a lot on the defensive end of the floor where there might be some breakdowns, and those breakdowns lead to easy baskets because these other teams are so prepared. They're aware of what we're going to do offensively, but yet they're also very well trained in their own individual offense. And if you make a mistake, you open a door wide open. So one of the challenges Kahron's going to have as we continue to move forward is to make sure that he maintains his focus for a long period of time. We have relied on him. We've been trusted him with a great deal of minutes. He's been a long season, so he's just got to make sure that he doesn't fatigue. He's able to keep that focus, and a lot of that is just the discipline to do so.
Freshman Kahron Ross, he'll be one of the top candidates for this year's Rookie of the Year in the Patriot League, 155-pounder, Jonesboro High School in Arkansas. He is an arts and science major.